The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies has described the development of some states in Nigeria as ugly development, also condemning the manner in which a Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly was removed from office as undemocratic. Stakeholders were charged to do more in giving the invention from their international partners more seriousness. KAFTAN correspondent Mavis Ako has more in this report.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, during its engagement with state speakers of House of Assemblies, states the need to address issues that are crippling the national democracy. Recall that the Speaker of the House of Assembly Plateau State was removed from office in 2021, which the process of removal was described as undemocratic. Therefore, stakeholders were charged to work on their standing rules on how leadership should be treated, appointed, and removed.
Critically, we are starting this year on a sad note that one of us, the speakers from Plateau State today, is no longer there. The way and manner he was removed is undemocratic, and that we must acknowledge as head of our various assembly. It's on this note, therefore, that I believe we have to look at our standing rules, how leadership should be treated, how leadership should be appointed, how leadership should be removed. I think it's very critical to all of us. Today, the SY Speaker of Plateau is no longer there. We don't know who's going to be the next person. It's not just about financial autonomy again, but even autonomy, political autonomy for the assemblies in the various states. I believe this one is critical, and because from what we saw last year, what happened in Plateau State was a very ugly development, which should be condemned by any right-thinking Democrat.
Speaking on the amendment electoral bill, ensuring the second tier of government is given some autonomy to work on its own was stated as well.
In no sooner a time, the Electoral Act amendment electoral bill hopefully be passed to states. In no sooner a time, the constitutional review process, which is ongoing, will be transmitted to states to deliberate on. I think these are the issues we need to start looking at. How does it affect us as states? How do we ensure that the second tier of government, which to me is the state, is given some autonomy to work on its own, especially as relates to the legislature? The executive in this country, they have gained so much power that the legislature is becoming very, very irrelevant. How do we make the legislature irrelevant in our democratic experience?
Also, the need to deepen democracy was stated, as it was said that democracy can only be promoted when persons, group, or institutions make it sustainable.
In more than 65 years of promoting democracy in Germany and around the world, we've realized 4 important lessons. First, democracy is never perfect, as human beings are not perfect. But it's the best conceivable and realistic option to organize a society and its state in order to bring peace, freedom, and prosperity to its people. Democracy can only be promoted when there are persons, groups, and institutions on the ground sustaining it, living it, and being in accordance with their people's will to live in democratic freedom.
It is important to us to understand what the needs of our partner state houses of assembly are in order to include them on this agenda. I would like to raise 2 more things. First of all, our organization will celebrate this year its 20th anniversary in Nigeria, supporting democratic governance, and I truly look forward to contacting you soon on our celebrations. Last but not least, there will be also a delegation offer from our organization for this summer to the speakers of our partner state houses of assembly to Germany in order to introduce you to our federal system and also discuss common grounds but also differences of federations.
The State's Assembly speakers were also charged to do more in giving this intervention from their partners Conrad Adeona Stephen, also known as CAS, and more seriousness as volumes of resources are said to have been invested. From Abuja, Mavis Ako, KAFTAN TV News.